Hey Clara, do you remember that old laptop you had when we first started dating? Yeah. What about it? Well, I found it in a box and tried to turn it on, but it wouldn't work. Oh yeah? It crashed and I couldn't get it fixed. I decided to take a closer look, and I fixed it. What? Look, don't turn it on, okay? I will come and see you. Don't touch him, huh? Oops, I already turned it on. Wilder, I said, no. Hey, Onyx, I need to tell you something that's been weighing on my mind. Sure, man. What's going on? Well, it's about Clara. I stumbled upon some pictures on her old laptop that have been bothering me a lot lately. What kind of pictures? You see, I was going through my wife's old laptop and came across some pictures of her with this guy named Bob. Apparently, she and Bob were dating before I came along, but they were still seeing each other while we were dating, even after we got married. Yeah, I know. It's pretty messed up, huh? Yes, it's hard not to feel betrayed and hurt by all of this. I mean, I thought we had a strong and honest relationship, but now it feels like everything's been a lie. Oh, God. And to make matters worse, in some of the pictures, she was sporting a necklace locket that I'd given her for her birthday. It's been messing with my head lately. Damn, man. That's messed up. How did you react when you saw the pictures? At first, I was furious. I wanted to punch a wall or something, but then I went numb. I copied all of her pictures to a flash drive and left her laptop plugged into my computer with a picture of her kissing Bob on the screen. Wow, that's a pretty bold move. What did Clara say when she saw it? I don't know. I couldn't stand the thought of being under the same roof as her, so I made the tough decision to leave before she got back home. I packed a bag and headed over to my brother's place across town. It was a bit of a drive, but I needed to get away from everything and just clear my head. It's not an easy decision to make, I know, leaving your own home and your partner behind. But sometimes you just have to do what's best for yourself and your own mental health. I'm still figuring out what to do next and where to go from here. But for now, I'm just trying to take things one day at a time and focus on taking care of myself. I can't even imagine how you're feeling right now. Have you talked to her since? No, not yet. Honestly, I'm at a loss for words when it comes to talking to her. The feeling of betrayal is so strong. I understand. No, you don't understand. For the first couple of years of our marriage, I worked my butt off at my law firm. I'm talking 60 hours a week. Insane hours, just so we could have a happy and comfortable life together. And yet, despite all that, my wife still went and cheated on me with some other guy. It just doesn't feel fair, you know? Yeah, I know. I feel like I put so much effort into our relationship and our life together, and this is how she repays me? It's just not right. That's a tough pill to swallow, but you guys have been through a lot together. Maybe there's a way to work through this. It's tough to put your faith in someone who has done you wrong like that. But on the other hand, I still have feelings for her. Love is such a complicated thing. Just take some time to think things over. How are you holding up? Honestly, I don't know. It's a weird feeling, really. It's like I'm not feeling anything at all. No hurt, no fury, and no urge to patch things up with her. Have you decided what you will do? Yeah, I've come to the difficult decision that it's time for us to separate and get a divorce. I even talked to a family law associate at my law firm to get some advice on how to proceed. Sometimes you have to do what's best for yourself and your own happiness. Wow, man, that's a tough decision, but it sounds like you've thought it through. Yeah, I have. You see, my wife Clara has been going absolutely crazy with texts and voicemails on my phone. I'm talking nonstop messages like every 5 minutes. It's honestly been driving me a little bit insane. Did you return her texts and calls? I haven't responded to any of them, not a single one. I know it might seem harsh, but I just can't deal with her right now. You need time and space to process everything. It's not just me who's feeling the tension here. My law firm has actually taken some pretty serious measures to protect me and my property from Clara. They've put up a protective shield around me to make sure she can't get anywhere near me. It's definitely an extreme measure. Yeah, but I'm grateful that they're taking my safety seriously. It's a relief to know that I have a team of legal experts looking out for me during this challenging time. That's a good move. Exactly. What's really bothering me right now is that I don't feel anything at all. No sorrow, no fury, nada. It's almost like I've turned off my emotions completely. Well, give it time. You've been through a lot lately. Maybe once everything settles down, you'll start to feel again. I hope so. On the bright side, I've never been more clear-headed when it comes to my cases at work. It's almost like my mind is completely devoted to my job now. That's good to hear. You're a talented lawyer, Wilder. Don't let this situation bring you down. Are you filing for divorce? Ilium called me. What does it mean? Let's talk, please. We can't end our relationship. Well, answer me. Hey. Hey, Ilium. Any updates on the flash drive? Yeah, I was going through some old files on your wife's computer and stumbled upon even more pictures of Clara and the guy she cheated on you with, Bob. And let me tell you, they were not innocent pictures. They were all cozy and cuddly and even kissing in some of them. Wow. But that's not even the worst part. In some of the pictures, Clara was actually wearing the engagement ring that you gave her. Surprisingly, I didn't feel any pain or anger. In fact, I smiled. It's kind of a relief to see those pictures, because it confirms that everything I've done since leaving her has been justified. You're right. By the way, have you talked to Clara? Yes, I've got a meeting set up for Thursday afternoon to hash out the details of our separation agreement. Good. I don't want to be there if she doesn't have counsel. Don't worry, I made that clear to her. Oh, and don't you dare underestimate me. When it comes to the courtroom, I'm like a pit viper ready to strike. Ha, I'm glad you're on my side. So, what about spousal support? It'll likely be minimal and end quickly. Just a heads up, you'll likely have to keep paying rent until the lease expires and Clara finishes up her doctoral courses. All right, that's not too bad. What about our savings for a down payment on a house? Just so you know, the account requires both of our signatures and doesn't have any ATM access. So, we don't have to worry about that. Oh, okay. Ilium, thank you for choosing to be my lawyer. Oh, stop it. I can't help but help you. You're my best friend. Anyway, how are you holding up? After everything that's been going on with my wife, I've been feeling pretty down and alone, but hanging out with my brother's family has been a good distraction, and it's helping me feel less isolated. Even though my nephews are absolutely crushing me in video games, I'm having a blast playing with them. It's nice to have some laughter and fun in my life again. Oh, I'm happy for you. And to top it off, things at work have been going pretty smoothly too. I'm finding that throwing myself into my work is a good way to keep my mind busy and focused. It's been a good way to take my mind off everything that's been going on. All in all, things are starting to look up. That's great to hear. Just wanted to let you know, the partner in charge of my department came by and told me how proud he is of how you're handling this personal matter. It was really encouraging to hear. Thanks. I appreciate it. It helps to know I'm not alone in this. Hey, Onyx, it's me again. I just had a meeting with Clara and her lawyer, John. How did it go? It was interesting. I ran into her unexpectedly, and let me tell you, she looked awful. Like she hadn't slept in days. The moment she saw me, she started apologizing and telling me she loved me and couldn't live without me. It seems to me that it was a pretty emotional moment. Yeah, but then things got tense. Ilium, our mediator, quickly reminded her that she's not allowed to speak to me directly. It was a necessary reminder, but it definitely added to the tension of the moment. That sounds awkward. It was. During the meeting, John, Clara's lawyer, brought up the topic of reconciliation, but Ilium quickly shut it down and reminded everyone that we were only there to discuss the separation agreement. That's when Clara started shouting at me, saying I shouldn't give up on our marriage over just a mistake. What did you say? I didn't say anything. Ilium instructed me to maintain a neutral expression and not say anything during the outburst. I was still feeling pretty numb at the time, like I was watching the whole thing unfold from outside my own body. Wow, what happened next? Ilium brought out the flash drive with all the pictures of Clara and Bob, where she's kissing and hugging him with her engagement ring on full display. It's your turn to go. Yeah, Clara started crying and claiming it was all a mistake. But Ilium went through each picture with John, highlighting the ring in each one with a bright red marker and asking him if his client truly believed it was just a mistake. That's intense. Yeah, it was. Suddenly, Clara let out a piercing scream, insisting that she never cheated on me during our marriage. It seemed like the pressure had finally gotten to her. Do you think she's telling the truth? Honestly, I don't even care anymore. I just want to get this whole thing over with and move forward with my life. Eliam and John went over timelines and other important details during the meeting, but I was feeling pretty disconnected from it all. It's just been a really draining experience. What happened next? Oh man, it was a mess. Throughout the meeting, Clara was in tears and refused to give up her cell phone. But Eliam wasn't going to take no for an answer and threatened to have her IT guy copy everything on the phone and download all the information from her online accounts. That sounds intense. Did she end up giving up her phone? Nope, at one point. During the meeting, John leaned in and whispered something to Clara, causing her to clutch her phone even tighter. I have a feeling he told her that she had just admitted to cheating. This led to even more tears and sobbing from her. Poor John, it must have been tough for him to handle a losing case like that. Yeah, I felt sorry for him. I've been in his shoes before, I can imagine. So, what happened after the meeting? I didn't even bother talking to Clara during the meeting. Everything that comes out of her mouth is just a lie, so what's the point? You're right. Anyway, Eliam got the separation agreement signed and sealed yesterday afternoon. Interestingly, we've decided to split the home down payment savings account evenly, instead of me having to pay rent until June. It's a small win, but I'll take it. That's good news, right? It is. Clara might see it as a win for herself, but the reality is that it's a strategic move that simplifies the divorce process by eliminating our most valuable asset. By splitting the home down payment savings account evenly, Eliam can now prepare a petition for an uncontested divorce, meaning we won't even have to go to court. It's a smart play. Wow, Wilder, that's some great news, huh? Just so you know, since your marriage hasn't even hit the 5-year mark yet, you might not have to pay any alimony. In our state, if the marriage is less than 5 full years, the court usually considers rescission. It's definitely something we'll need to keep in mind as we move forward with the divorce proceedings. Wow! This means they'll put us back in the financial position we were in before the agreement, or, in our case, before the marriage. Yes, so no alimony for Clara. Exactly. It's pretty fortunate for me that Clara and I don't have any shared assets, children, or joint accounts. That makes it hard for her to argue against the idea of rescission, which basically means we'll just undo the marriage as if it never happened. The best part. Yeah, it's highly unlikely that I'll have to pay any alimony, which is definitely fantastic news for me. It sounds like you're ready to move on from this whole situation. Definitely. It's strange, but I've come to the realization that I don't feel anything for Clara anymore. And you know what? That doesn't scare me. I'm happy for you, dude. I've come to the understanding that the Clara I thought I fell in love with was never really real. Our entire relationship was a facade, and now it's time for me to let it go and move on. It's great that you're taking care of yourself, Wilder. You've scheduled some appointments with a therapist? Yeah, just to be on the safe side. Before I start moving on, I want to make sure that I'm in a good place mentally and emotionally. Thankfully, my friends, family, and coworkers have all noticed that my smile is back and that I'm feeling better than I have in years. It's definitely a step in the right direction. I'm so happy to hear that, Wilder. After that, Clara and I's divorce was a messy affair. Despite her relying on me heavily throughout our marriage, I refused to provide any financial support for her after our split. Understandably, this caused Clara to become extremely angry, and her rage boiled over during the trial. She lunged at me, screaming and shouting, and the intensity of her anger was truly frightening. As if that wasn't enough, Clara also began sending me threatening messages in the weeks that followed. She swore to ruin my life, just as she believed I had ruined hers. Even worse, she started showing up at my house unannounced, desperate to speak to me. At one point, she even tried to break into my home using an invisible, an act that left me feeling violated and unsafe in my own home. I had to take some serious action to get Clara to finally back off. I ended up calling the police on her, and that seemed to be the wake-up call she needed. Since then, I haven't heard much about where she is or how she's doing, but I have a feeling that she's found herself in some serious legal trouble. To be honest, I'm just relieved to be rid of her and all the drama that came with our relationship. I do hope that she's able to turn her life around and get things back on track, though. No one deserves to be in that kind of situation. All I can do now is focus on moving forward and building a better future for myself.